NANI?!
After almost 6 years, the GoPro Max 2 is finally here. But is the wait really worth it? In this video, you wouldn't see lifestyle montage, no influencer on surfboards, no crazy stunt reel, and no hot girls. Ew! Uh-oh, Yopa shot. Whoopsie!
You better not use that.
Whoopsies! Okay, hot dog maybe. What you will see is a straight up technical breakdown, image quality test, side-by-side comparison, and yes, even a few cute dog clips to keep it kimchi. Spoiler alert! The Max 2 does deliver better image quality than the Insta360 X5 and even the brand new DJI Osmo 360, but not in every situation. And when we push it in low light, all the way up to ISO 6400s, you will see exactly why this might not be the 360 camera for you. So, can GoPro reclaim the crown as king of 360 after 6 years of silence? And is this the tiny 360 camera you should actually bring on your next adventure? Let's find out in this in-depth no review. First, let's start with the size and weight. The GoPro Max is officially the smallest 8K 360 camera on the market. It's even smaller than the DJI Osmo 360, but not the lightest. The Osmo comes in at around 180 grams, while the Max 2 is 190 grams. The Max 2 is still about 9 grams lighter than the Insta360 X5. 10 grams might not sound like much, but in action sports, every ounce counts. Kimchi said that basically the difference between carrying one extra dog treat in your pocket. Wait, did you put that in my script?
Hehe, feed me, I'm hungry.
Design-wise, the Max 2 looked almost identical to the original Max until you notice the lens. GoPro finally moved to a center-aligned lens instead of the offset design, and that alone makes a huge difference for stitching quality, which I will show you in a moment. The lenses are stick out more than before and more so than any other 360 camera on the market. But there is a reason for that. The Max 2 is the second action 360 camera with replaceable interchangeable lenses right after the Insta360 X5, but with the easy twist and go design. This is one of the biggest selling points, not because it is breakable, but because it opened the door for ND filters and lens option in the future. On the base, now you get 3 mounting options: the standard GoPro mount, a 1/4-inch tripod mount for invisible selfie stick, and the GoPro magnetic mount. What you don't get is internal storage like DJI give you, which is a bit of a bummer. Now, there are already ton of reviews on the internet talking about how the Max 2 look and feel on your hand. You don't need me to repeat all of that. So let's skip the fluff and get right into the most important part of any camera, the image quality. From left to right, we have the iPhone 16 Pro Max because my iPhone 17 is not here yet. Then we have the Insta360 X5 in the latest firmware, 8K 30 frame with adaptive tone. Then we have the brand new GoPro Max 2, DJI Osmo 360 next to it in 8K 50 frames per second. Then the original GoPro Max in 5.7K. And finally, the camera not many people know, the Canon Qoocam 3 Ultra. If you punch in on the focal chart, my iPhone still has the best image quality, even in the 0.5 zoom, the lowest quality lens with the HEVC setting. So if you just shoot 2D video for social media, you really do not need a 360 camera. Don't let the 8K number fool you. The 8K number means your full 360 views. Reframe is cropping the magic window, smaller part of the full 360 frame. So you are getting around 180p at best. So if you only do traditional 2D video or vertical content, stick with your iPhone or your GoPro Hero 13. They are always gonna be better image quality than any 360 cameras. On the other hand, the original GoPro Max is 5.7K, look really bad. In 2025, 5.7K is not enough. I won't even bother with any other setting below 8K because 720p-ish video on social media is just asking people to skip. If you are an artist or influencer, bad image quality is a case of death in the world of high quality video or AI. So we can comfortably take out the original GoPro Max as well, that leave only the 8K 360 camera, which most of you already know how to use and have good reason to use it, either for immersive 360 filmmaking or capturing those impossible reframe angle in action sports. Looking at all 4 cameras at full 8K without zoom in, they all look relatively the same. So if you already own one, you are fine. Don't get FOMO and chase the latest and the greatest. Focus on learning better reframe animation, better 360 post-production technique, or getting a faster computer to handle 8K editing. Those are the areas that will really improve your output, both for reframe social media video and immersive content on Apple Vision Pro. But let's break down the detail and see if GoPro Max 2, the latest and maybe the greatest, can outrun the rest. First, let's talk about color. GoPro Max 2 in GoPro color looks the most accurate. Insta360 has a purple tint and DJI has the green tint. GoPro Max 2 is closer to reality. Now onto dynamic range. If you punch it on my face, you will see the strengths of GoPro. Much better dynamic range and more detail in the shadow. The X5 get muddy in the shadow. DJI also lost shadow detail, but is sharper overall. Surprisingly, the Qoocam 3 Ultra, the camera most people don't even know about, actually has the best dynamic range here, with over 14 stops using DR boost. Very impressive and very underrated. Next, let's talk about sharpness. At first glance, DJI Osmo 260 looks sharper than Max 2, but look at the edges here. There is obvious aliasing issue, a size of an in-sensor sharpening. You see some of that on the X5 as well and even on the Qoocam. On the focal chart, Max 2 look more natural without the overly digital sharpening artifacts. Reality doesn't have halo, and that's why DJI and Insta360 footage look less natural. It's a style choice, yes. If you like that action camera look, that's fine. But coming from a cinema background, I don't like artificial sharpness. When it comes to adding sharpness in post, VR sharpening in Adobe Premiere works seamlessly on 360 video. With that, Max 2 actually match or beat DJI. Look at the Fuji text right here. Unreadable on DJI or Insta360, but still readable on Max 2. This is because technically GoPro Max 2 capture more pixel and more data than DJI Osmo 360 or Insta360 X5. You might have heard this explanation a lot from other reviewers or creators because it's GoPro's official reasoning behind true 8K. The sensor actually records 8432 by 4216, which is more than the traditional 760-80 by 3840 8K UHD. Those exact pixels are used for stitching. So even though the final video output is 760-80 by 3840 in 8K, technically the X5 only has 6976 by 3488 effective pixel, and DJI Osmo 260 only had 7120 by 3560. Both DJI and Insta360 has to upscale, whether with AI or not, to reach 760-80 by 3840. That is why pixel for pixel, the GoPro Max 2 has better non-upscaled pixel compared to the competitors. And when you apply the same sharpening and denoising in post you learn on this channel, you end up with better image quality because the source pixels are clear to begin with. GoPro Player even provide ProRes 422 HQ as a render setting to help protect those high quality pixels. GoPro Lab also give you unstitched 300 megabit per second fisheye output, and they are promised to add all-eye version of HEVC to help cut down those compression artifacts. So you are really getting the highest quality pixel possible. If you are like me and do a lot of post-processing in DaVinci Resolve or other professional workflow, the GoPro Max 2 is the better choice because of that highest quality source, as you can see right here. GoPro also use EAC projection instead of ERP, which make a huge difference for YouTube 360. Since Google use EAC as well, it basically look clearer when you look up and down inside a VR headset with less distortion. Check out my 360 video shot on the Max 2 right here if you want to see the differences for yourself. But even with all of that, the Max 2 still can't beat the clarity of Qoocam 3 Ultra. The only thing holding me back from using the Qoocam is the nasty chromatic aberration. Plus, the Qoocam 3 Ultra isn't really an action 360 camera. It is very heavy and the lens aren't replaceable. But in terms of image quality, it is definitely a contender. Talking about replaceable lens, both the Insta360 X5 and the GoPro Max 2 has them, but the Max 2 lenses are made from higher quality optical glass and they are much easier to replace. You don't need to do any calibration. The real question is, how good is the flare resistant with these replaceable lenses? Let's take a look. You can clearly see several spots where the Max 2 introduced nasty lens flare that just don't exist on the DJI Osmo 360. So I might be the only person on the internet who's not a fan of the whole replaceable lens gimmick. A tighter lens module with fewer layers will always be optically better than stacking an extra layer just for protection. And in this case, I think the DJI Osmo 360 definitely win the lens flare test. So visually, the GoPro Max 2 looks better than the X5 and the DJI Osmo 360 without too much artificial enhancement. But how is that possible with a smaller sensor? We know the Max 2 used the exact same sensor as the GoPro Hero 13, 12 or even 11. The 1/1.9 inch 8x7 Sony IMX677L is smaller than the X5 at 1/1.28 inches and much smaller than the DJI Osmo 360, which is using 1/1.1 inch square sensor. DJI's pixel size is 2.4 UM, is more than double than the Max 2 at around 1.12 UM. So the Osmo 360 can gather a lot more light, which should mean better low light performance, right? Almost no reviewer talk about low light performance on the Max 2, but it is important. So let's dig a little bit deeper into the detail. First of all, there's no special AI-powered night mode on the GoPro Max 2. GoPro doesn't believe in AI tricks, and honestly, good for them. So we are comparing standard GoPro color mode with full auto setting against the Insta360 X5 pure video mode and DJI Osmo 360 latest SuperNight mode, which now support enhanced 8K 30 frames per second. In standard lighting, the GoPro already showed more noise, but the X5 in pure video mode looks very strange with lots of aliasing artifacts. Personally, I prefer the noisier but much more natural looking of the footage on the GoPro. DJI Osmo 360 in SuperNight mode though looked the best. Then we turn off the main light source and switch to LEDs only to recreate that nightclub or music festival look. The X5 in pure video completely breaks down. You can't even handle certain color like green here or purple here. DJI's enhanced night mode in the latest update, which just came out like a couple days ago, is really good. It holds dynamic range in both highlights and shadows, keep white actually white under intense LED lighting, and does it all with almost no noise. Let's dig a little bit deeper and run a control ISO test without any AI modes, starting from ISO 800 all the way to ISO 6400. ISO 800, ISO 1600, ISO 1600, look at that. How does it look? Is it noisy? Is it very noisy? Pretty noisy? ISO 6400, ISO 6400. GoPro Max 2 is basically unusable beyond ISO 1600. It starts losing color and introduces heavy digital noise, and no amount of denoising can really fix that. The Insta360 X5 starts to break down in ISO 3200, but surprisingly, manual mode looks much better than pure video in the current firmware. So if you are an Insta360 X5 user, just learn to control your lighting manually. You will get way better low light result 9 times out of 10. as you can see right here. DJI Osmo 260 on the other hand looks great all the way up to ISO 6400, even in 8K 50 frames per second. This makes it the new low light king of 260 camera. At the end of the day, sensor size does matter in low light. The bigger, the better. It's really that simple. Stitching. Now, let's talk about another very important topic in 260 video, stitching. One of the reasons the GoPro Max has more resolution than other is partially because of its EAC stitching strategies. Before we get into the side-by-side comparison though, I want to point out that the Max 2 finally used center aligned lens instead of the offset design in the old Max, and that alone should greatly improve stitching quality. Let's take a look. And we got this! NANI? For super close-up shot within about 1 foot, the Insta360 X5 with its AI stitching is still the winner. But once you move beyond the arm length, past the 1 foot mark, the GoPro Max 2 actually does better. You start to see stitching artifact in both the X5 and the DJI Osmo 260, while the Max 2 prioritizes distance stitching with minimal optical fold wobble effects. I would say that GoPro Max 2 has a slight edge overall when it comes to stitching at a distance, but to be fair, all three are very good. So we start the camera, as you see, GoPro Max 2 is about 113 Fahrenheit, Insta360 is 107 X5, and DJI is 106, or I should calibrate, 120. This is 127. So even just after like 5 minutes of filming, GoPro Max temperature rise higher than DJI Osmo 260 and definitely higher than the Insta360 X5. So we need to see like how good the heat. Oh shit. So actually we just did the overheat test and the GoPro Max just shut down around like 20-ish minutes. So we are in California. Summer is almost over. We are in the beginning of fall, but it's still pretty hot. As you see, I'm wearing a short sleeve. It's a hot day today. So it's a kind of a standard average testing environment. And that does a little bit concern me because I mean the GoPro Max overheat so fast, and the DJI does overheat before GoPro Max, but instead of shutting the recording, they shut the screen down by forcing it. So you concern like more energy, but also like better heat distribution. So the X5 the screen did not shut off, did not get overheat warning, just keep rolling like champ. So in the heat distribution side of thing, I think the X5 is the best. GoPro Max 2, yeah, they probably need to like figure out how to like make it last longer than just 20-ish minutes in a normal sunny day. Just shut off again because I tried to force to open it, right? But it just shut off again. And then there's a DJI right here, and also can last the full battery without stop recording. It just shut the screen off, which is fine. So yeah, there you go. Stabilization. Now let's talk about stabilization. How stable is the GoPro Max 2 compared to the X5 and the Osmo 360? Let's find out. Here I'm running a one wheel while tracking Kimchi. Kimchi is drifting left and right, definitely the most unstable subject in the test. But all three cameras with horizon lock-on deliver rock solid stabilization. For action sports, any of these 360 action camera will give you that stable shot you need without a cameraman. 360 photo. For virtual tool creator, you might be curious how good is the 360 photo are on the Max 2. The good news is the Max 2 support major virtual tool platform that let you upload directly from the camera on your phone and generate a tour. just like the Insta360 X5. The bad news is the photo resolution is only 29 megapixel. Compare that to the DJI Osmo 260 at 120 megapixel, that's almost 4 times larger. Here is the actual size comparison, and you can see the dramatic difference in quality. Another limitation is that the Max 2 doesn't support DNG RAW or bracketed HDR. In contrary, the Qoocam 3 Ultra offers DNG-A and HDR capture, giving you much better dynamic range, pixel fidelity, and color. For one-shot professional virtual tool work, the Qoocam 3 Ultra is still the king for image quality. And if you are shooting travel 360 photo, the DJI Osmo 260 is definitely the best option with that 120 megapixel quality internal stage 360 photo. Professional support. Just like the DJI Osmo 260, the GoPro Max 2 record in true 10-bit. And that's great news for colorless and video professionals. Another exciting update is that GoPro released a brand new DaVinci Resolve reframe plugin for Fusion. It can reframe all 360 video, not just footage from the GoPro Max 2. I will go into more detail in the upcoming tutorial. As I mentioned earlier, you can unlock a 300 megabit per second bitrate using GoPro Lab with a very fast SD card. OI encoding, basically raw light quality, is also coming soon through GoPro Lab. And if you know how to handle custom stitching, you can even capture in dual fisheye mode that also give you access to on-screen spin level, histogram, false color, and other advanced pro features. With a little bit engineering, that means you could even modify this camera to shoot VR 180. Thanks to GoPro Labs. We are not testing GoPro Lab in this video. I don't want to risk bugging my camera for this initial review, but more is coming. Verdict. I do want to call out, with ISP limitation, GoPro Max 2 will not have 50 frames or 60 frames per second support in 8K 360. So it will be tough still for producing content for Meta Quest or Apple Vision Pro with only 30 frames per second support. If you need slow motion in 8K, then DJI Osmo 260 is still your only option. So what is the verdict on the GoPro Max 2? On the positive side, it has most accurate color, solid dynamic range, and true pixel for pixel detail that hold up better than the Insta360 X5 and DJI Osmo 260 once you sharpen and denoise in post. The center aligned lens finally fixed stitching issue from the old GoPro Max. Stabilization is rock solid and is the smallest 8K 360 camera you can buy right now. Add to that the replaceable lens design, which make it easier to protect, upgrade, and add ND filters. For professional, the 10-bit recording, ProRes export, and GoPro Lab option make it a serious tool for workflow in DaVinci Resolve and Adobe Premiere. But there are trade-offs. Low light performance is poor. Anything above ISO 1600 is basically unusable. The replaceable lens, while convenient, also introduce flare issue that DJI simply does not have. And the 260 photo mode is weak at only 29 megapixel without RAW support. GoPro Max 2 has one more advantage though, pricing. It is $499 in US. About $50 less than DJI Osmo 360 or Insta360 X5 in standard package. And you can easily pick one up in any local Best Buy or camera store. A lot easier than DJI Osmo 360. It is a GoPro after all, an American-made action camera, so expect high build quality and good customer service. You are not calling China for help. So who is the Max 2 really for? If you are a professional who cares about clear pixel, accurate color, portability, and post-production flexibility, this is probably the best action 360 camera you can get right now. But if you need the absolute best low light performance, 50 frames per second in 8K, or the highest resolution 360 still, then DJI Osmo 260 might be still better. After 6 years, did GoPro really reclaim the 260 crown? I put all my test footage up for you to download. Check it out yourself, pixel peeking it, and let me know what you think in the comment down below. Right now, we are in the middle of production with the GoPro Max 2, filming on ranches with horses, epic off-roading, and the beautiful landscape of Colorado. I can't wait to share that full 8K video experience with you on Apple Vision Pro. One thing I haven't talked much about is audio. The Max 2 features 6 built-in microphones with Apple Spatial Audio and ASAP support. And just like the Insta360 X5, it also supports APM-P format natively, working seamlessly on Apple Vision Pro. You can even integrate the Max 2 with the Ursa Cine Immersive on a single immersive pipeline. If you want to dive deeper, I've got a tutorial right here on using Resource Reframe 2 with the Max 2 for immersive production. So stick around! The story of the GoPro Max 2 is just getting started. I will see you in the next one.